So error handling. We've only really covered a small portion of errors. Where have we been seeing errors so far? When an error occurs, where can we see it? Console, yeah. So right now we've just been dealing with system errors. These are errors that Node or JavaScript will automatically create and throw for us, so they show up and we can know what's going on. But those are just the base errors. Many times in your program, you'll want an error to occur if something goes wrong. And right now we're kind of having to keep two places in our brain, because right now we're working on the RPG. That is just a program. There's no website on top of it. It's not an application. It's a program. After the RPG, everything we make for the rest of the course will be web applications. So the mix of JavaScript with HTML and CSS. We're just kind of taking a brief reprieve to nail down some JavaScript topics. So this is in regards to when we're making a web application, how errors work when we're serving a web page to a user. And there are 3 keywords or 4 keywords we need to look at. And that is try, catch, finally, and throw. So these are like the error handling words in JavaScript, the plain JavaScript words. Because we're at the mercy of whatever default errors there are, but what if we want an error to occur if something happens that JavaScript doesn't have built into it? How do we create our own? So I'll actually add one more thing here. I'll say error. And this is kind of what we have to work with by default for error handling. So try is the first one. Try literally means try this bit of code. Whatever we put inside of a try, we're asking JavaScript to try it. Try it out, see if it works. So I will use try. And that it just gets opening and closing brackets, and the code we want JavaScript to try goes right inside of these brackets. If something goes wrong, a try, like let me try this. I'll do try console logging hello, and then I'm going to run this program. And it throws an error immediately. Missing catch or finally after try. Because what try is meant to do is to execute some code, and if something goes wrong, we'd like to see it. And the way that works is try is followed by a catch. That actually takes parentheses, because it will receive an error if one occurs. So now I'm going to try my code again, and it works just fine. So whenever you use the word keyword try, it's got to be followed by a catch. These go together. Try this code. If something goes wrong, catch the error. And then let me see the error. So try the code. If something goes wrong in the try, this will catch it. We'll catch the error. Catch will literally catch it and let us use it within its brackets. Well, this isn't throwing an error, right? So to really test this, we have to learn how to make our own errors. So in JavaScript, we have a bunch of constructor functions we can use to create things with. We've been used to saying something like const string equals hello. This is the best way to make a string. But just know that every data type in JavaScript has a constructor function that teaches it how to work. So another way I can make a string is to say, give me a new string with the text hello. And both of these will make a string. This one is just implicitly doing it for us. This one is really declaring the constructor we want it to use. But in JavaScript, there's many of these. We can output objects of all sorts of types, built ones in JavaScript. And one of these is the error constructor. The error constructor function is so we can make new errors. So what kind of data type does constructor functions return? Always.
Objects.
Object. So all these constructors are just little factories that we can use to output objects and have all this pre-built methods and data inside of them. So if we want to make an error of our own, we get to use this syntax. We'll say const my error equals a new error. And then in here I can put, what do I want my error message to be? Something went horribly, horribly wrong. So now I have my own little error saved in that variable. But this isn't affecting our package or our program at all yet. Because try is the thing that says, I'm going to try this code, and if an error occurs, this is going to catch it and show me. So let's rephrase this inside of our try statement to make it occur. What I'll say is, try out the following code. If 2 is equal to 2, I would like to create a new error. But just saving a variable isn't enough. Because as we see here, if I go ahead and still run this code, it's not causing any issues. My program's running just fine. So this other keyword here, throw, is what tells JavaScript to say, stop everything that has occurred, throw it at the person that made the program. They need to know about it. So I'm saying my error equals, I'm going to say throw a new error. Something went horribly wrong. And then my catch is going to catch it so we can see it. Let me zip this up a bit so it's easier to read. So I will run this now. And it's like, oh great, my program broke. No, it didn't. It did exactly what I told it to. Error, something went horribly, horribly wrong on app.js line 13. So it's logging my error, not the standard one JavaScript would give me when something went wrong. So you can testify things. If you want your program to break for some reason, in this aspect, you can throw an error, which Node will automatically crash when that happens. And this is so we can kind of learn the syntax of how errors are thrown and caught. Because later we'll use errors for the user. For example, let's say you log into a website and you give them the wrong username or password. What typically happens on the website when you fail to log in? I type the wrong username and I hit submit. How does the program know that I did not put in the right password?
Invalid password.
That shows something.
Little text will pop up. And all of that is coming from an error. They're throwing an error like this that says, you know, username or password are incorrect. But that error is not crashing the program. That error is just passing text to our application somehow so we can display this literal message to the user. So right now we're just kind of learning the base syntax. This is what it would look like inside of a program. It would crash our program. But we'll use errors all the time for good in our web development once we have HTML and everything going. Throw is powerful enough that you don't even have to create an error object. I can say throw, oh no, something happened. And that is enough. Throw will create this into an error and break our program the same way. Oh no, something happened. So my question is, how are we seeing this? Where is it actually getting logged?
Well, one thing I should know is one of the if you don't create the object, it doesn't show you.
Yeah, it doesn't give you stack trace, it doesn't give you all the line numbers, so the object is nice, but throw will still end operation. So how are we actually seeing this console log, though? Is it the throw doing that?
The catch.
The catch, yeah, throw, exit, try. Try is now done with, because an error occurred, and that's what try is checking for. Hey, if an error occurred, stop everything, and throw the error to the catch. So the catch will catch it and let us see it. So let's try this. I'm going to say const age equals 23.
My Zoom call was canceled. So.
And inside of my try, I'm going to ask if age 33 row very loud. It's ending my brain process right now. I'm just going to type this out for a sec. Sure. Okay. If I were to run this program, which error would be thrown and caught by my catch?
The third one?
Third one, so it will read this, it'll be false, so no throw gets hit. Reads this, it's false, so no throw gets hit. Reads this, it's true. Program exits here and throws the error to the catch, who catches it, and then I can console log it and see it. What happens if I get rid of the try and I throw an error? Yeah, it'll still crash the program. But there's no catch to catch it. So what has actually happened here, if you don't catch an error, Node catches it for you and crashes your program. But maybe we don't want our program to crash when the error occurs. We have to have the catch to do that. So we have a chance to handle it before Node's manual system of error handling takes over and crashes it for us. So even though this did crash, it's because this is the end of the program. I could keep going here and typing and be fine, as long as I have the catch, so I can handle it. All right, well, there's one keyword we didn't cover. We covered try, catch, throw, and error, but we haven't seen finally. Finally is optional. It's kind of like the else. But this else runs regardless of what happens. So after try, I can put a catch, and after catch, if I want to, I can put a finally. And finally will run regardless of what happens in try or catch. If an error is thrown, great. If an error is not thrown, great. Finally is going to do whatever it's told to do. So here I'm going to say console.log, I'm running no matter what. I'm going to change the age here to 33. And now what will we see console logged all together? I heard some mumblings. I think the words were in there, but one more time. Yeah, we'd expect this to throw, so none of these will get seen. This will catch it and log it, and then finally we'll execute what it should do finally. Cool. So just introducing some keywords. We're going to be using catch everywhere once we get to HTTP requests next week. So this is a little intro to that, because when you go and request data from a server, which is what we'll be doing next week, there's one of two things that will happen. One, your data will come back and you're happy, or the server will do something horrible and what you get back from the server is this big error. Well, when it comes back, we want to be able to know, hey, did an error occur? Did it come back well? So we'll put a catch after every single server request we do, just in case it comes back with this box of errors, so we can catch it and handle it before it crashes our website. So we'll be using catch on every HTTP request, which we'll cover next week, so that if servers mess up our request, or if we mess up our request, our user doesn't have to pay for it with a crashed website. Hooray. And that's all it is for basic error handling in React, or in JavaScript. Is there any questions on the syntax or how these different pieces work? So we'll see catch all the time working in React. We won't see try and throw and error until we get to backend. So we use this a lot on backend when building servers and APIs. We'll be using catch though all the time on the front end. Yeah, Because what if the user, when they get to our website and log in, you have to think, you will begin to think about what happens in the background. When you click log in, that website is making a request to their database to get your user information, to get all the posts for the website that you may be viewing, to get all the comments for the posts that you're viewing. There's all this data going and getting fetched just when you log in. If one of those goes wrong, your website crashes if the error isn't handled. And so we'll have to try, like, go get all the users, go get all the posts, go do all this. If any of these requests fail, catch that failure and let me know about it so I can then let the user know, uh-oh, something went wrong, versus a big white screen of just like a big Cody error message that they get to deal with. And that's it for error handling. To be revisited. But there will be a little exercise I give you to practice this, because we're just doing an if-else statement right here, right? I'm going to comment this out for a second, because you can tell try to really try anything. So what if I have a function called sum that takes two numbers, and the point of this function is still simple, but what if the user gives us something we didn't expect? Instead of a number, they gave us a string for one of these. We might want to stop the process there and let them know, hey, you gave me bad data. So I could ask if the type of num1 is not equal to a string, or a number, sorry, or the type of num2 is not equal to a number, then they gave me bad data, and I don't want this to try to return the sum of two strings. Or the sum of two booleans. So instead, throw, you must provide two numerical values. Now I can test this inside of a try. So I can say, hey, try out my function. Try sum with 10 and hello passed in. And if something goes wrong, catch the error and let me know about it. So what would we expect to have happened? When I run this program, what will we see in the console? Yeah, it will give us this, because it will run the function which reads our code. It sees that I passed in hello, so it throws this string which breaks the try. The catch catches it and lets me see this message. So clear, app.js, you must provide two numerical values. I'm like, you know what, you're right. Let me give you a 12 instead. Now I'll run it. Doesn't show us anything because no error occurred. Our program ran fine. If I want to see it, I can console log my function call as normal. As soon as I give it that string, my function now knows to throw an error if that happens. And try and catch just the mechanisms for doing that. So you won't be doing this in your RPG. This is conceptual. We will get to actual use cases early next week. But I will pass these out as notes because there is a little exercise that's going to have you write a function and try it out in a try block and try to catch your own errors just to see the syntax about how that works.